I have so much I want to say to you guys that it don't even make no sense.
Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
Hello, Scorpio. I have so much I want to say to you guys that it don't even make no sense. But somewhere in this vicinity, you guys should see me shuffling cards, which are the cards that are on my desk at present. Okay, and a little piece of sage just fell out there, which are on my desk at present. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in, but you guys got three overall energy cards from the Starseed Oracle, which I'm just absolutely in love with in real life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're about this life, because I think this deck is amazing for the times that we're in, I have it in a link to it in the description box below. But I have so much stuff I want to say to y'all. Part of me feels like I need to say it now before I get into these cards, because once that intuitive hit starts going, I might forget. But let me see. The first thing was, the thing I always tell my clients, is life happening to you? Do you believe about life? And this is a question, if you want to pause and reflect on it. I mean, like literally pause the video and reflect on it. It's on you, depends on how self-reflective you are. But asking yourself your belief in regards to your beliefs about life. Do you believe that life is happening to you, or do you believe that life is happening for you? Right? Because both of those are very telling. I'll get into that later. But I think I already forgot the other thing, dagnabbit. Oh no, the other thing is the reading I did for you guys, and I literally just quoted this reading in, I don't remember if it was Cancer, but I think it might have been in one of the extendeds, but like the bathtub reading that I talked about, and that was like a month or two ago, and I used the whole analogy of a bathtub. Like, I don't even remember what that reading was about. I just remember I talked about a bathtub. I know it has something to do with like blockages and things of the sort. But that's a thing too. So since I got that out there into the ethers, let's get into your overall energy cards. The first card that you have, and it's funny because I just talked about whales and Aqua's reading. Aren't these pretty? It says whale and orca elders. And it says share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. Oh, that's so beautiful. Damn it. So beautiful. Next, we have big picture thinking, just in time for the Sagittarius full moon and the eclipse and whatnot, but this is more in alignment with just the Sag full moon, looking at the bigger picture. And it says Pleiades, I'm assuming that's Pleiadians, energy, visionary, inspired ideas. So beautiful. And it's so funny that this whale card came up, dude, because I had a whole bunch of Freudian slips with Aquarius. This is relevant to you. I'm segueing a little bit, but it's very relevant. I think this is interesting, synchronicity speaking, that this ended up coming out, because the vision that I saw as I started talking to Aquarius about the environment and everything, and like how social distancing has by default helped the environment. And the thing that kind of instigated that was me thinking about the whales, right? And how the shipping industry has a lot to do with the decline in whales, right? Because the engines and the noise and stuff like that, and that like kind of resounding through water, it inhibits, I think it's sperm whales specifically, from being able to procreate with each other, because whales sing songs and it like echoes and travels through the ocean so that their partners can hear, so they can procreate and make whale babies. You know what I'm saying? And with an influx of you know, the shipping industry, like so many, you know, these huge ships going back and forth all over the place, on top of injuring them, has contributed to the decline in the number of whales that, you know, are born, I guess you could say, each year. So I was thinking about that with how everything shut down with Corona. It's like, for a temporary short amount of time, it's like, you know, some whales were able to find their twin flame, you know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing. So I think it's interesting that that came up for you guys, you know? And then the last one that you guys have is empathic starseed. Shout out to the empaths. If you have not seen the empath video that I did for Surrender Healer's channel, go check that out. It's on her channel. It is a reading for the month of June that is solely for empaths. So if you're not an empath, don't go watch. I'm just kidding. But it says energetic sovereignty. I love how that sounds. Absorbing what's not yours. Man, if that's not an empath problem, I don't know what is. I'm just saying. So, because empaths are like sponges, man. You gotta be cognizant of that, protect your energy. And that was a requested video. I'm gonna do that soon. But anywho, getting into you guys' cards, the first card you guys have for your central energy for the month is the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, and this is challenged by the Two of Swords. Your past influence is the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Your underlying influence, or your below card, is the Queen of Cups in the reverse, and your above energy is the Six of Pentacles. And then your possibilities are going forward in the month. Potential challenges in the future, we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. And then at the bottom of you guys' deck, which I think is so funny with this deck, because the actual Eight of Wands is the same picture they have on the back. I think it's hilarious. So I always get confused, but I'm like, what? But it's the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So with this being your underlying influence, this is like the under of the under. So this is pretty much the why all of this is showing up in your experience. Just kind of seeing this. I don't know if I'm reading for a lot of Scorpios that have Aquarius in their chart or something, but the vibes of this remind me a great deal of Aquarius, because I see an energy that's ushering you forward. However, with Aquarius, it felt more as if they were getting delivered. And I can already see that with Scorpios, what's going to be required for you all is to deliver yourself, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was the other thing. The other thing was that I feel someone, and I don't know if that's who's represented in the Six of Pentacles here, but I feel someone is coming into you guys' life this month, but I don't feel it like, you know, like a romantic person or anything. It feels for me more or less like a mentor, if that makes sense. And I mean, that's what it feels like to me. But excuse me. But mentor can manifest, like the vibration, the energetic signature of a mentor can manifest in a myriad of different ways. Like, just to give you guys some context on a little bit of this schema of my energy signatures, like the vibration of a person I would consider mentor in, you know, everyday life. It could be like your tax person. I don't know why I always go to money, y'all. It could be an accountant or a tax person. It could be a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they're mentoring you in the sense of like, you know, those of us who have like personal mentors where, you know, this is someone you look up to and so on and so forth. It doesn't have to be an affinity like that. It's really just a person who's a master of their craft, right? And a person who has a very specific skill set. So that could legit be your therapist, you know, and they wouldn't technically be coming into your life because we're not allowed to do that. It's like if you decided to, you know, hypothetically, you know, call me up, you find me on Psychology Day, you call me up and, you know, we talk and we're like, okay, let's start this therapeutic relationship. And my skill set as a therapist is something I would be sharing with you throughout the therapeutic process. So that could also show up under that vibration as mentor. And then maybe some of you guys have just graduated from school, and you may actually be getting a mentor in your professional area. Like, you know, those of us who are, you know, into clinical work and stuff like that. If you're going into, you know, your postgraduate internship or residency or whatever, that person would be like a mentor, like the person you're studying under, in so many words. But I do feel that for you guys as well. That was the side little intuitive thing. Anywho, but coming into the first card you guys have with the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, coming into this month. And this is interesting because, okay, looking at this in accordance with the 6 of Pentacles, this gives me the vibe of returning on investment. And I would want to, I don't even want to say that. I'm not going to say that second part, because another way you could look at the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse is like giving up too easy. I don't feel that for you guys. I feel it's like you guys are coming into this month like unsure. You know what I'm saying? And this lack of sureness that you guys have, whatever. I'm like, I didn't really go into these cards too much, but I really feel like I need to say this. Like, this is taking my attention. I'll get back to that later. But anywho, but I feel that you guys are coming into the month unsure. So you're not on sure, grounded footing in coming into June. And that's not necessarily a bad thing per se, just because of all of the stuff that's going on this month. And if you're curious about that, go watch the video on my other channel on WokeHub. And the link for that'll be below, because I talk about, I put it in the context of like 6 things to survive June, you know what I'm saying? But it's really 6 things that are really important to know, especially Scorpio, with you guys having the Wheel of Fortune, because that's the vibrational energy that I feel. And I think when I did the meta math on this, I think the month of June, in accordance with, the month of June, which is 6, in accordance with 2020, which is 4, is 10. So pretty much, that's the whole premise of where this whole shift comes from, like meta mathematically in so many words, because we're talking about this being the midpoint of the year, because from January till June, right? And then June being like, so that's the former part of June, the latter part of June, and what happens in between this time frame determines if you will, how you started 2020 in January, if that vibration is going to turn over to go all the way until December and then into 2021, or you can make the decision to course correct, is what I called it in the other video, to course correct and, you know, ascend to a different vibration. And I mean, for some of y'all, I mean, it's on you on what you want to do, because you could descend to a lower vibration, but ascend to a higher vibration and close out the year in that vibration. But what I mean by, like I said, with Aquarius, with them, it's more or less them being delivered. But I see with this, it's you guys are in a position to where you have to deliver yourself. So coming into June, being reflective is totally fine, because a lot of the energies, especially with Mercury retrograde and stuff like that on, I think Mercury goes retrograde on the 18th, I think, of June, if I'm not mistaken. So with this, it's giving you guys like the energy energetically for the month. The vibration of that is working in accordance with the stance that you're in. So I feel June for you guys is going to be a month where you're really reconsidering how it is that you want to go forward, right? For those of you who have this professional or this mentor that's coming in, I feel they can help you sort through that, especially if it's a therapist, you know what I'm saying? Because with this Queen of Cups in the reverse, that's your underlying influence. If this was the upright, that's my, okay, I don't know if you did, there we go. This in the upright is my therapist card. But just for face value, I'm gonna say this being in reverse, that might mean I need a therapist card. I'm just saying, throwing it out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. But I feel the whole thing this month is you guys being blocked energetically, which is what it is that I'm seeing here in the Eight of Wands, is really a resistance to change, right? So what do we mean by resistance to change? The whole center of the spread is saying to me, and especially with this Queen of Cups in the reverse, it's a stagnancy. For some of you, this is legit, like I talked about in the other reading, an emotional plug, right? Which is what I meant with the bathtub. It's like on the outside, everything looks legit and super cool, but it's like within, it's like, and legit, I really believe this was an extended. Yeah, it was. Because I got real dirty in there. But I was saying that it's walking into a really beautiful home and a pristine bathroom with a beautiful, crisp white porcelain tub. However, what exists under the stopper that's in the tub is like raw, putrid sewage that has backed up. And it's not ever cleaning it out, because it's the fear of this bathroom is so nice and pristine, this tub is so clean and nice, that if I open, take the tub stopper off, all of that putrid raw sewage is going to back up into the tub. So you keep the stopper on. And by default, it's like the bathroom stays clean, the tub stays clean, but you can't use the tub, because if you take a shower or a bath in it, you know what I'm saying, the water's just going to fill up, so you just don't use it at all. So you just keep the bathroom looking nice and pristine, and it's not, functioning. You know what I mean? Like it's not serving a purpose. It's just there and pretty, and the sewage is there, but no one knows it's there because the stopper is on. And that's how I'm seeing this with this Queen of Cups in the reverse, of this being emotions, desires, feelings that are very authentic to you that aren't being acknowledged, right? Because it's a refusal to acknowledge them, or a belief that, you shouldn't, or you're not supposed to acknowledge them. But the thing is that the Eight of Wands, the underlying of the underlying, is needing to change, being blocked, refusing to do so, right? For whatever reason. It could be fear, whatever, not wanting to mess up your little dirty your clean bathroom and make it dirty. You know what I mean? But that's what it is that's going to get you guys to where you're going. Now, with this Nine of Cups in the reverse being here, and this still takes me back to this whole antiquated thing. That's another theme this month, dude, is like, we're in a new energy, and it's a lot of people, a lot of signs, I saw this with Cancer too, are still operating in an antiquated methodology. It's like the approach to things is outdated. It doesn't work anymore, And I feel a lot of the stagnation or unhappiness or feeling stuck or blocked or whatever has a lot to do with that. Because, and I even said this in the WokeBook, dude, I was saying that every year, because the WokeBook covers a 10-year span, right? So it goes all the way back to 2009, right? And it talks about the energetic themes for each year. But then in the very beginning, you create your own lifeline. Well, not necessarily a lifeline, because lifeline will go back to childhood. We just talking about the last decade, right? And the themes that I saw for the last decade is the fact that we were able to proverbially get away with murder, because it's like there's so many lessons collectively that should have been learned in certain years, but then the next year you see, because it wasn't like people didn't get it, how it was repeating itself and it was tacking on. So vibrationally with the numbers, you start to see where for like a 3-year span, it's more or less they were double-digit numbers, and you reduce that double digit to a single digit. Y'all, I'm getting on to the specifics of things. Y'all who got the book know what I'm talking about. But those are like double lessons of things that have been carried over, right? But the main thing that I said, 2019 was the end of that, of being able to just, oh, I'll do better next time. You know what I'm saying? All my readings in 2019 were like that, because it's like towards the end part of the year, it was like, dog, Spirit really not playing in real life. And in 2020, it's like now everybody has to put their big girl, big boy panties on. And yes, boys, I said that you're putting on big boy panties. I said it, dagnabbit, son of a gun. But it's needing to take personal responsibility. because now it's going to be because we're in a very 3D energy now, you know? So there's no escapism. So if there's something you're not doing, it's going to show up in your life immediately, pretty much, like the consequences of that, because it's a need to understand you need to do something different. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to rescue you. No one's coming to deliver you. If you want your life to look different, then you need to do the work for that to be different. There is no more walking around and being oblivious to what's happening. And that's a lot of what I'm seeing for you guys. It's like you're coming in this state of self-reflection. It's coming in trying to figure out why you may feel the way that you feel. Why am I blocked? Or knowing that something needs to shake. But the only thing I could really see with this is that it's fear-based. You know what I mean? Of why it is that things aren't shifting. Because with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, it's feeling downtrodden with life. So that says to me that it's something that you guys have been investing in. It's something that you've been putting into, you know, like a job that you've been at for years, or a relationship, a friendship that you've been in, or it's something that you've been putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into, and you're coming into June asking yourself if it's really worth it, right? It's like, am I really getting something out of this? Is this really benefiting me? Now, when we look at the Six of Pentacles, like crowning you guys spread, something that you want to take into account, and this isn't necessarily for everyone, whoever it is that, you know, you feel that this applies to, if you feel it applies to you, it's a need to question your motives, which is something else that I talked about in the other video. You need to question your motives of, is the only reason why you're doing it is because you're expecting something in return? Because if you're not doing it from the pureness of your heart, it's like you're not going to get, like if you're doing something for money, the only thing that you can really get back is money, because that's the vibration in which you're sowing. You know what I'm saying? So if you're putting money into something, like you have a business, you invest money into your business, you will get money back from your business. Will you investing money into your business when your heart isn't in it make you emotionally fulfilled? Probably not. You know what I mean? So the same like at a job, if we look at it like that, if you work at a job that you hate, what you get is you get fairly compensated for your time. Yes, you hate your job, but you showed up for 8 hours and you got a paycheck that covered those 8 hours that you paid, how many times you did during that particular pay period. That's all you get. So what you give, you get, right? So you're getting paid for your time. This has nothing to do with heart space and emotions. You know what I mean? So if you invest your emotions into something, meaning, which is the beauty of, you know, walking in your purpose and things of the sort, if you're doing something, like they say, when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, because that means you're doing something not because you want money, hypothetically speaking. You're doing it because you want to contribute, because you want to be of service. Even if this is talking about you guys being a mentor of some sort, right? Because with the Six of Pentacles, we can look at it both ways depending on, you know, your specific situation. But it's like, if you guys have mastered something, and say specifically you work a job, right, where you mastered a skill set. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm going back to accountant. It's just so easy. You're an accountant and you work for some big corporate bank, right? But you learned how to do taxes somehow, or that's what accountants do, right? So you do taxes too, right? And you end up realizing that there's a lot of people who aren't, you know, CPAs, but there's people who, you know, from coming in your bank or something, I don't know, that want to know how to do taxes, right? And you think, well, that's something that I know how to do. And it's like, well, I could teach people how to do their taxes, or I could teach people how to manage their finances, because it might be a whole bunch of people that you see coming into the bank that, you know, are investing money improperly, whatever. So that's a skill that you mastered. So you acting as a mentor would be starting an online class, teaching people how to do their own taxes, or how to, budget their money or whatever, right? So this would be something where out of the kindness of your heart, because you see a need, and this is you doing that out of being of service, not because you necessarily want anything, but it's not to say that you wouldn't be compensated. That's how you get that reciprocity and that fulfillment. So you can be monetarily compensated just like you are at your job, because it's your time, it's your effort, it's your energy, it's the materials. And us living in a realm of reciprocity, you're supposed to be compensated for whatever it is that you're investing into something, right? But then, so that's your monetary side of it. Now, on the compassionate side, which is a heart matter, you can be fulfilled in the fact that you're contributing and being of service, and you're helping someone for something that they were in need of. You know what I mean? So it's a give and take relationship, and that starts to balance things out, which is another theme that I see this month, is everyone getting to a homeostatic state within themselves, because things for far too long, like prior to this major shift we've had, there have been the haves and the have-nots. There's people who are always givers, then you have people who are always takers. You know what I mean? And it's more or less like energetically, the universe is balancing itself out to where it's a new paradigm where you can get both. You know what I'm saying? So this more or less to me is saying that a lot of what you guys are going to be pondering on this month is, what is it that really truly makes you happy? Some of you, it's needing to know that you can have both, and both does exist. Or you can, in a sense of not saying that, quitting your job and going to fulfill your purpose and you're going to make lots of money and do what you love. It's even in the sense, if you're not quitting your job, if you're just working your job, your fulfillment would come in the fact of you just volunteering. You know what I mean? If you feed the homeless, or, go volunteer for a nonprofit organization, or I don't know, run a grief group or something. I don't know. It could be anything. But the whole thing is that it still comes back to you needing to choose, because your emotional space is what's being neglected here. It's, and I feel that's where that unease is coming from, of like, is everything I'm doing really worth it? You know what I mean? Or if you're at the latter end of this, where it's just not being happy, period, it's needing to spend time this month really reconsidering what it is that you really want. Like, what is happiness to you? What is success to you? What is fulfillment for you? What does that look like? And making the decision to do what's needed to get there, in so many words, or reaching out to a mentor who can help you get there, if that's making sense. Because I feel going forward, you guys, you can't keep going forward like this, because you ain't really going forward. You're just stuck in the same place. You know what I'm saying? But tapping real quick before I wrap up with these 3 oracle cards here, I feel what this is really saying in the bigger picture of things is that you guys, just like Aquarius, are being called because you have a message. You have something within you to give to this world. You know what I mean? You guys have a vision, and it's time to really follow that and to move forward with it. But I feel something that's really important with this whole empathic card, a lot like Aquarius as well, is they were more or less holding themselves up to a certain standard, or feeling as if they needed to fulfill a role in some way, shape, form, or fashion. For you guys, I really feel like there's a need to protect against your energy, because I feel like you guys, some of you have shut down emotionally, which is backfiring on you, because it's the fear of vulnerability, the fear of letting people in. You know what I mean? Or getting too close to people because of that empathic overload that happens. Because when you get too close to people, you start picking up on all of their energies. And that's really just a need to ground oneself and be aware of your baseline of emotions, so that you know when you're feeling something, it's not you, it's something that's occurring outside of you, in so many words. But anywho, my wonderful Scorpio people, I'm going over to Vimeo or YouTube members or my website or Patreon, wherever it is that you watch me, to do you guys extended. And we're going to jump in a little bit deeper and finish filling out this spread on some little guidance for you guys and things to watch out for. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later. This would be somebody who would be very emotionally manipulative, very smothering, very materialistic, very superficial. This is all about a choice that you make. Like, there's no goes, he's bad